This thing looks incredible. Milled aluminum, custom designed, manufactured by PCBWay. It's genuinely one of the most satisfying upgrades I've ever bolted onto this machine. And I'm here to tell you, it probably wasn't worth it. If you've been following this build, you know I've done a lot to my DIY Toolchanger. The usual rabbit hole. The latest thing I tackled was the X-axis bar. The stock one was fine, but I wanted something lighter. Less mass on moving axis means less inertia, which means, in theory, faster and cleaner motion. So I designed a custom hollow aluminum bar, set the files off to PCBWay to have it CNC milled, and I installed it. Here's what actually happened. The design process was genuinely fun. I spent a good amount of time getting the geometry right. The goal was to keep the same mounting interface as stiffness as the original, but reduce the overall mass by hollowing out the profile. PCBWay did a great job with it. The finish was clean, tolerances were spot on, and honestly when it showed up in the mail, I just sat there holding it for a minute. It's satisfying to hold the part that you designed yourself, machined out of real aluminum. The installation wasn't as straightforward as I would like. It took me quite a while to get everything right, especially threading the holes in the aluminum. After I was done threading the holes, I disassembled the X-axis. Then started putting it all back together the same way I disassembled it. The belt tensioning wasn't even needed. The speed clips that Mad Max uses make this process so much more easier and cleaner if you're doing maintenance or just changing over the parts. You just remove the pin holding the belt together, and after you're done installing it, just put it back in the same place and you will have the same belt tension always. And then I run Input Shaper again. Today's video sponsor is PCBWay. If you build things, PCBWay is worth knowing about. They do PCB fabrication, CNC machining, 3D printing, and sheet metal all under one roof, with fast turnaround time and competitive pricing. And if you're new to this and not sure what to order, PCBWay has a shared project section where the community posts open source designs that you can order directly. It's a great way to get your first part made without needing to design anything from scratch. I've used them for my own projects and the quality was amazing. If you're a new user, you will also get a $5 discount on your first order. Make sure to check them out. Links in the description. Now let's get back to the video. So, did it work? Technically, yes. The axis is lighter, the motors have less mass to throw around, the acceleration figures are slightly improved on paper. In practice, on the prints that I actually run in this machine, I cannot tell the difference. And I really want to be honest about why, because I think this is a mistake a lot of us in the DIY space make, including me. A lightweight X-bar only meaningfully helps if moving weight is your actual bottleneck, and for most people printing at normal speeds, it simply isn't. You're not losing quality because your bar is too heavy, you're losing quality because of vibration, and vibration doesn't care how light your bar is if the source is somewhere else entirely. Think about it. Loose belts, slightly wobbly motor mounts, frame flex, the way your printer sits at the table, a tiny bit of play in the lineal rail, any one of those will absolutely drown out any benefit you get from shaving a few grams off the X-axis. If you want better print quality, especially at higher speeds, the two things that will give you the biggest returns are: Number 1, input shaping. If you haven't run input shaper calibration, do that first. It directly compensates for resonance in your motion system and is genuinely transformative. The difference between a well-tuned input shaper profile and a bad one is night and day, and it costs you nothing except time. Number 2, hunt down your vibration sources. This is less glamorous but more impactful. Get an accelerometer on the toolhead, run some tests, and actually look at where your resonance peaks are coming from. Then go fix them. Tighten that belt, add a rubber foot, brace that frame joint, The boring stuff. A lighter X-bar moves your resonance frequency up slightly, which can help input shaping do its job, but it's the last 5%, not the first 80%. Actually, really quick before I go further, only 1% of the people watching my videos are actually subscribed. So if you're watching this and you're not subscribed and you're enjoying the content, just hit the subscribe button. It's free, it takes half a second, and it means YouTube actually shows you the next videos. Okay, back to it. Look, there is a use case for this. If you're running a high-speed printer hammering away at 800-1000 millimeters a second or beyond, at that point you're genuinely fighting inertia and every gram you remove from the moving axis matters. The motors are working hard, acceleration is being limited by the mass, and a lighter bar gives you a real headroom. In my case, I nicely offset the weight of adding a tool changer system, and that's a pretty specific scenario. Most people aren't there yet. If you are pushing those speeds and you've already done your tuning homework, then yeah, lightweight axis bar is a legitimate upgrade. Just don't expect it to fix your prints if you haven't done the fundamentals first. So, where does this leave me? I have a beautiful custom designed milled aluminum X-axis bar made by PCBWay on my tool changer. It looks sick, I'm genuinely proud of the design work that went into it. And if I ever push this machine to speeds where it matters, I'll be ready. But if you're asking whether you should drop your time and money into something like this to improve your print quality, the honest answer is no. Tune your input shaper, chase your vibrations, then worry about shaving grams. The upgrade isn't wrong, it's just the wrong upgrade for where most of us are. If you want to see the CAD file for this bar, links in the description. And if this convinced you to go tune your input shaper, honestly, you're welcome. If you found this video useful, make sure to like and subscribe. If you have anything to say, make sure to leave it in the comment section below. And as always, I will see you in the next one.